can change, manipulate, or we can be persuaded by it. And we all know also that advertisement is the lifeblood of media. Within these advertisements, are we aware that there are impressions that can be so malicious or so yeah, okay, uh, so the researcher decided to
Joker ka,
create
kuya.
this goal to determine the impressions of selected Lucbanins with TV advertisement on alcohol beverage
Nakabag.
based on their demographic profile as indicated by their age, religion, family income, occupation, gender, and lastly, to find out if there is significant difference on the impressions of the selected Lucbanins according to their
Oh,
demographic
nilagyan pa siya ng isang
profile.
mic.
And the significance of the study is uh, identification of the persuasive features in the use TV advertisement of alcohol beverage that can create impression
Dalawa na yung mic niya.
to improve or avoid things that can mislead or create wrong impressions among consumers. The study also can also improve the strategies used in endorsing the product. The scope and limitation of the study. The respondents were ages ranging from 18 to 23, 24 to 30, 31 to 36, 37 and above, and the demographic profile were considered to determine the significant difference of the respondents to the TV advertisement, and no specific TV advertisement was used. Uh, the theoretical framework, the theory proposes was the cognitive response proposed by Mr. Greenwald. The cognitive response theory proposes that the persuasion produced by an act of communication is in self-persuasion which is produced by the receiver while reading, listening to, or watching the communication.
Parang
These
kanina lang,
thoughts
di ba?
may be
Puro key points lang.
about the content of the communication or other aspects of the communication process, such as the credibility of the
Kuya,
source,
basahin mo na lang,
if by
pwede.
and large the communication act evokes feelings
Sorry.
supportive of the position being advocated, the receiver will move towards that position. And here's the graphical theoretical framework of the cognitive response. First, the cognitive of the person received by the receiver will evaluate the information. He can acquire his self-thoughts, wherein the last stage was the attitude change. We can be persuaded by the advertisement being used. And the next is the conceptual model of the cognitive response. Here's the first stage was the persuasion of the TV advertisements. Second, but you will examine whether it is personal or new experience. Then, first, and then the personal characteristics, and then the examination of the features such as endorser, appeal, approach, setting, and the dialogue. And lastly, the impression rate based on the overall quality of the advertisement. And here's the schematic diagram showing the dependent and independent variables of, of the relationship. For the independent variables, for the demographic profile, the respondent's age, religion, family income, occupation, and gender. And also for the features of TV advertisement, the setting, dialogue, endorser, and approach. And for the dependent variables, the impressions of selected Lucbanin to TV advertisement on alcohol beverage. And this descriptive research in identifying the impressions of the selected Lucbanin according to their demographic profile. And the said locale was the Lucban, Quezon. The municipality of Lucban, Quezon was composed of 22 barangay, 10 rural, and 12 urban. The research instrument was used. The researcher used structured questionnaire to determine the impression of the selected Lucbanins. Since the municipality is a community, the research instrument was in Tagalog form. And to analyze and to determine the different impressions of the respondents, weighted mean is used. And then to test the respondents' impression according to their gender, the independent T sample was used. And here are the data gathered. Impressions of the respondents according to their age. Generally, all elements of the advertisement in the age bracket shows that katamtamang paghanga or moderately impressed shows, except for the
Siya yung nag-research.
dialogue element of the advertisement in the age bracket of 37 and above, which shows hindi paghanga.
Parang feeling.
In the impressions of the
Like, kasama
respondents
siya or feeling
according
ko.
to their religious affiliation, generally
Oo.
there is katamtamang paghanga in all elements of the advertisement, except for Roman Catholic, which shows lubos na paghanga, and in the Protestant, in the endorser and dialogue element, which shows hindi paghanga. In the impression of the respondents according to their family income, generally all the elements of the advertisement in all bracket of the family income shows also the katamtamang paghanga, except for the endorser element of the advertisement in the bracket of 15,000 ranging from 10 20,000, which shows lubos na paghanga, and also in the dialogue element the hindi paghanga, and above 20,000 income, which shows hindi paghanga in the dialogue element. The impressions of the respondents according to TV alcohol beverage according to their occupation. Generally, it also shows that katamtamang paghanga, except for the endorser element of the advertisement in the skilled workers that shows that lubos na paghanga. Here's the comparison of the impressions of the respondents according in terms of gender. All male in terms of all elements in the advertisement shows that katamtamang paghanga, while female only the endorser element of the advertisement shows the lubos na paghanga. Here's the significant difference of the respondents according to their age. The setting element only shows the significant difference, and the other advertising element doesn't show any significant difference. Here we get the endorser element of the advertisement is the only significant in the religion affiliation of the respondents. There's no significant difference in the family income of the respondents according to the elements of the advertisement. And according to the occupation also, there's no significant difference in terms of the elements of the advertisement. And lastly, the gender bracket, it only shows that there's no significant difference also. And for the conclusions of the research, there's the impression of the selected Lucbanins on the television alcohol beverage advertisement as indicated by their demographic profile in terms of their age, occupation, income, religious affiliation, and gender ranges from moderately impressed to highly impressed. And the demographic profile, income, occupation, and gender have no significant difference of the selected Lucbanins on the endorser, dialogue, and setting. approach of the television alcohol beverage advertisements. While the religion affiliation and gender have significant difference only to the endorser and setting respectively. And here are the recommendations. Conduct related studies includes other characteristics of the respondents that may affect or influence the impression towards TV advertisement. Conduct an advertisement using other media such as radio and internet. And add relative questions to the instruments for analytical explanation towards the impression of the respondents. And also to develop other research study on how the demographic profile affects one's impression to another aspects, and use the other result of the study as reference for the development of alcohol advertisement. That's all. Thank you.
Para may amat style siguro. Para may amat style. May tama.
Salamat, Mark.